When it comes to being successful in business, your brand is everything. So today I'll be breaking down everything that you need to know to build your own $1 million brand. Let's talk now about the two key components that every brand needs to be successful. The first is a brand goal, and the second is a tone of voice. Now, when it comes to creating your brand goal, you may already have a mission statement or a value statement that exists for your brand. When it comes to making your brand goal, we're going to take a look at that mission or value statement from a marketing perspective and create one thread that is present throughout everything that you're doing in marketing. So a template that I like to use is I help ICP with pain point by action. So for example, I help founders scale to $1 million with effective marketing strategies. You can also create a much shorter version of your brand goal. So for example, if you're selling a toothbrush, your brand goal could be improving oral care worldwide. What we want to do with our brand goal is not be overly specific. We want to create one sentence that anybody could look at and understand what you're trying to accomplish with your marketing. And we want to keep this brand goal a little bit more vague because it should be the one constant with your brand as things grow and change over time. Now, the second core element of building a successful brand is creating your tone of voice. And your tone of voice really just sets the tone for your marketing communications. So it's the reason why if you read a government paper, it sounds so stuffy, or if you look at your favorite influencer's Instagram, they sound so casual. That is what we're creating here when it comes to developing your tone of voice. To create your tone of voice, we're going to keep things very simple. I've seen founders really go in the weeds here, creating a 26-page slide deck, and that is really a lot more than what we need. All you're going to do is choose 5 adjectives that describe your brand. And when you pick these, you will naturally guide your tone of voice when it comes to your marketing communications. For example, if your adjectives are approachable, authentic, relatable, trustworthy, and guide, that will naturally steer you away from using scientific terms or overly technical jargon. When you sit down to write any piece of marketing copy, it's important to have your brand goal and your tone of voice present, because what we're doing is creating the bumpers for you as you sit down to market your business. And we're keeping things very simple so that when it comes time to outsource some of your marketing tasks, you can provide this clear guide to anybody who is writing copy for you. And to do this, we're going to create a brand guide. And this brings up a great point, which is how do you effectively outsource marketing tasks while keeping your brand consistent? Well, this comes down to a brand board, which you have maybe seen on Pinterest or on Etsy when creating a brand guide. But what we're going to do is go one step deeper, adding our brand goal and our tone of voice within the brand board. And to make this easier for you, I have a complete template so that you can keep all of your brand resources in one place. You can access that within my free community marketing accelerator. Click the link below the video to join. Now, when it comes to creating the actual logo, picking your brand colors and your fonts, you're going to want to work with a professional so that everything that you're doing online really embodies the vibe that you're trying to encompass with your brand goal and your tone of voice. If you're just starting out and you don't have a solid product or service offering yet, you can create something for free on Canva, but it's very important that at some point you do invest in getting a professional's help to create that logo for you so that everywhere that you're showing up online truly encompasses the message that you're trying to portray through your brand. Not only this, but when you embody your brand through everything that you're doing, you create something called psychological safety with your brand. Now, psychological safety is actually a term that I have stolen from the field of management to apply to marketing. And when you're a manager, psychological safety means if an employee comes to you and they've made a mistake, how do you handle that? If you say, okay, great, I'm going to partner with you and we're going to fix this together, that's creating psychological safety. So that's psychological safety in management. But when we adapt this to marketing, we can actually use this same concept. Our goal is to eliminate doubts in the mind of our prospects. Because marketing takes multiple touch points to convince someone to actually become a paying customer, it's important that we use each of those touch points to eliminate doubt by remaining consistent in our brand identity and messaging. So maybe you're listening to this video and something that I said sparked a little thought. I should maybe take a look at my brand again. Or maybe you're realizing that it's actually been a while since your brand has been updated and it could use a refresh. Let's chat now about how often you should be refreshing your brand and how to go about that from a strategy perspective. On average, companies update their branding every 7 to 10 years to keep up with changing consumer preferences. And so if you've been in business for a while, now might be a great time to take a look at everything. Or if you're newer in business, now's the time to make sure that you have the right foundation for your brand to grow on. I think a great example of a recent rebrand I've seen is ConvertKit rebranding to Kit. Now, their rebrand involved creating a new name and a new visual identity to keep up with what people expect out of a SaaS platform. But you don't necessarily need to go as far as renaming your brand. A brand refresh could be suitable for you at this stage. Now, the Kit rebrand involved changing their name, but usually brands just refresh their visual identity, and you can do this at any time. In fact, right now, I'm rebranding my consultancy to be more in alignment with the branding that I've created for Marketing Accelerator so that people know everything is coming from the same place. Now let's chat about some of the costly mistakes that I commonly see founders make when it comes to creating a brand. If you are rebranding too often, you come across as wishy-washy or not concrete in what you're trying to offer to your prospective customers. So while rebranding is good, you want to make sure that you're doing it thoughtfully and not too often, because that can actually harm the psychological safety that you're trying to create with your brand. The second mistake is forgetting your tone of voice. I see this so often, especially as founders begin to outsource their marketing. Now, as somebody who follows brands pretty closely online, I can always tell when a brand gets a new marketer and did not provide guidance in tone of voice, because all of a sudden their marketing sounds completely different because the marketer's just writing how they would normally write, not how the brand should be writing. And that's not the marketer's fault, that's the brand's fault for not providing tone of voice guidance. The third costly mistake that I see companies making when it comes to building a brand is not sticking to the script. Your brand goal should guide all of your marketing communication from now until the end of time. So a great example of this is a company that I worked with who sold energy contracts to businesses. And on their blog, I kid you not, they had a guide to Halloween decorating for your home. If somebody says, okay, well, they're clearly not serious about what they offer because they're teaching me how to decorate for Halloween, they're out the door. They're going somewhere else. And so it's really important that you stick to the script that you've created for your brand. And the fourth costly mistake that I see brands make is ignoring all of the other elements that go into creating a successful brand. So, for example, if you are a brand who is on the cutting edge of technology and you pride yourselves in being very social savvy, you don't want your marketers on LinkedIn using hashtags in the middle of their post like it's 2012. There are so many elements that go into creating a consistent brand identity, and there are a lot of little things that trip it up. So when it comes to making sure that you have a $1 million brand, you want to run everything that you're doing from a marketing perspective through the filter of your brand goal and your tone of voice before you push it out to the public so that you can foster that psychological safety and make more money. This video was part 4 of my 14-part series helping you scale to 7 figures. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can be notified as soon as the next video comes out. And don't forget, you can grab all of the resources mentioned in this video and more for free when you join my free Marketing Accelerator program. A link is in the description to join. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.